Hey now, and welcome down to KC Toy Reviews. We are here today with Miss Wong by SW Toys, aka Ada Wong from Resident Evil 4. And while SW Toys continues to pump out Resident Evil releases, I'm going to come right out of the gate and say this was a very pleasant surprise. So, if you're curious if this piece is worth your time, effort, and money, then let's go ahead, fine comb some of those details, and dive right the hell goddamn in. And here we are with Mrs. Wong. And if you hear that my voice is a little distraught, well, that's because it's already broken. That's right. Between setting up the last shot and taking off the crazy pre-order bonus clothes that she came with and putting back on the normal clothes, the metal peg on the hand completely snapped. Now let's keep in mind that I've been collecting for well over 12 years now, and I take extreme care of all of my figures. So the fact that this thing broke with such slight touch and movement to it is very concerning. I mean, I started off this video by kind of going out of my way to say this is a good piece. And then what am I left with? Goddamn Captain Hook. I mean, the red suit and all. And again, it's a shame because there are a lot of pros to this figure. And I think the rest of this video, I'm going to be just really upset because I was excited for this release. We get Captain Hook's bionic hand out of the way and start to look at this head sculpt. We can go into the pros immediately. And well, I did enjoy this head sculpt. I think there's a little bit of artistic freedom that was brought into this. SW Toys seem to kind of go more towards the anime look. But overall, you have this and another head sculpt here. Oh, almost knocked her over there. But yeah, this is another nice head sculpt that we had on earlier. And the eyeballs are movable, which we will show later on during the accessory portion. And as far as the outfit, the tailoring, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and note right now that it's going to be extremely difficult to pose this figure the rest of this video due to the Captain Hook arm. Okay. And there we have that more classic Ada Wong look from Resident Evil 4. Now, a couple quick notes here. These bandoliers here, they're a very cheap plastic. I think there could have been a better way to secure that on her. Take a couple steps back, and then obviously through the lens of the video here, it doesn't look bad whatsoever. But taking it on and off over and over does concern me in the long run that the little pieces and the tabs could snap or fall off. I actually think that the tailoring is really nice on this dress here. I think it fits appropriately. It's snug nicely on there. The tailoring, the hemlines, everything's pretty spot on. And just a note again, in the intro of the video, we had the pre-order bonus suit on there, or dress / sexualized outfit, whatever the hell that we're going to call that thing. To each their own, I don't care whatsoever. I just wanted to show it off. But it is worth noting that there are two outfits that came with her. And as we make our way down, I just wanted to show off the articulation. We do have a Bison body underneath here, so as we see the Captain Hook arm fully in action, you can bend, pose, you can do whatever the hell you want with her. With the cloth suit on top, I mean, there's really no fear of damage in it other than the Bison body underneath, which I guess if you damaged it in the long run, you could really just replace it. But again, we have a pretty nice, snug outfit on here. Everything fits nicely as we kind of spin around downtown, come around that down, right down, up, right down, right down right now. And as we creepily make our way down here, we do have this gun holster on the side. We can take that in and out. I'm pretty sure it might actually be for the quick shotgun, not the one that we have there, but this one that we see in shot just fit a little bit better. The quick shot was extremely snug on there. And then of course we have these leather pleather-ish boots on here. Decent quality. I mean, they have a nice kind of feel to them. Obviously underneath, I'm not going to go too crazy with articulation. This is a Bison body. We can bend and do whatever the hell we want with it, but I don't want to damage and crease this too much. Decent articulation in the ankles, but because this is one straight boot over the top of everything, I mean, it does leave a little bit of concern. I'm not saying it was 100% of a balancing act, but we did have some issues of her toppling over a few times. Not horrible, but nothing to necessarily rave about. And just a brief overview of the accessories. As we saw earlier, we do have the quick shot that Ada Wong is known for, so we have that there. We have this Uzi gun here. A little walkie-talkie up in here. This here is kind of what comes out of the quick shot. So if I can line up this piece here, put that in there. Like it's getting shot out of there. And then we have this butt plug, golden egg here. Whoa, that almost rolled out of shot there. And then we have the extra pre-order outfit that we saw in the intro of the video. And as far as the guns, I mean, decent paint application, basically just a black matted look to them. But I've seen a lot worse that literally look like they came out of a G.I. Joe toy. These actually look pretty decent here. And then, of course, we did have the pistol as well that we saw and shot earlier. Totally forgot to put that in the accessory part here. But we do have this extra pistol here. And same thing, pretty decent. And last but not least, as far as the head sculpts go, as I mentioned, we do have 2 of those, but all you do is pull the top here off. Oh, a little ball peg fell. And then once you have the hair taken off like that, you can actually move these little white pegs here, and it'll move the eyeballs around. So you do have rotatable eyes on both the head sculpts, and it's kind of another look at this without the hair. It's pretty nice looking, actually. And then you just plug these guys back on like this. Boom. Whoop. Almost rolled off my hand again. Bada boom, bada bing. There you go. And one last look. I mean, it's pretty nice. Again, that's a decent head sculpt, and there are 2 of them. And just a quick side-by-side with Leon Kennedy to the right by Damn Toys and Chainsaw Man to the left by N Toys, with the Captain Hook broken hand. And on top of that, I gotta stress that the figure is a goddamn balancing act. There were a few times where I was able to get her to stand on her own, but that is no longer the case. I tried over and over, and I cannot get this figure to stand on her own, so I do have to throw this on the crotch grabber now, which is unfortunate. But put that aside, let's just stress again the side-by-side with Leon and Chainsaw Man. Yes, this version of Leon isn't the correct one, but Chainsaw Man is from Resident Evil 4, so it is a nice pairing with one another. Extremely happy to have her in my collection, just disappointed that mine is already broken. And there we have it. Miss Wong by SW Toys. And unfortunately, Miss Wong is a little bit of a miss. I'm going to be really brutal and go out on a limb and say you gotta be stupid to make a collectible that's a goddamn balancing act and not include a stand. Anyways, with that aside and the snapped Captain Hook hand, the rest of it was actually a pleasant surprise. Decent tailoring, the leather boots were nice, articulation is obviously fantastic because we have a Fison body underneath. Both head sculpts were nice, and the fact that they have movable eyeballs is a nice bonus. The detail in the face sculpt alone, I actually think is pretty nice. And as I mentioned earlier, SW Toys always applies this anime-ish look to their figures, which I actually really like. So all in with the face sculpt, the movable eyes, paint application, I actually have 0 complaints with both of those head sculpts. I'd say the only other real complaint / concern is the bandolier and the quality of it. As I said, in shot, it looks nice, but once you get this figure in hand, you'll know what I mean. The little notches and the buttons, getting them to click on, felt a little bit jangy. Decent amount of accessories. And of course, if you have both hands, there are an extreme amount of posability options if you count that there's an extra outfit included. So, with all that said, and a character from one of my favorite games of all time, Resident Evil 4, I think it's a great time to slap a score on this figure. So this is a tough score on this one because I have some quality issues on mine that I don't think everybody's going to see. So I'm really trying not to weigh that on my score too much. So with the assumption that this is going to show up with fantastic quality and only the pros that I've kind of harped on through this video, I think what's coming to mind like a bee sting in my anus is an 8.1 out of 10. And with an 8.1 out of 10 and I think like $180, $185 price point, I do suggest this piece if you're a Resident Evil fan. There are a lot of Ada Wong choices out there right now. What it does boil down to is the other versions out there have a slightly different artistic take on the head sculpts. But with that said, I'm super happy with what SW Toys is included with this set. So we're going to start to wrap it up here today with an 8.1 out of 10 with Miss Wong by SW Toys. Catch you guys next time. KCToys out.